we've established that for a competitive market, short-run equilibrium requires the market condition to be satisfied. Supply is equal to demand. And the individual firm has to be happy there. Marginal revenue equals marginal cost. They're maximizing profits. But for a long run, there's an additional condition. That additional condition is that profits are equal to zero. Because if profits are not equal to zero, that if they're positive, people are going to want in. If they're negative, you're going to want out. Call your broker and say, I got to get out of this line of business. So let's think about that long run in a different way. Suppose I told you we'll start from a situation of long run equilibrium. Notice, and I'm going to confirm this so that everybody follows along. Demand is equal to supply. That's one condition. Great. Marginal revenue equals marginal cost. That's another condition. Great. And at this price, P sub 0, it hits marginal revenue. Marginal revenue hits marginal cost at exactly where average cost is at its minimum. So price is equal to average cost, which means that there's no markup, which means profits are zero. So this particular picture is really important to economists because it shows a competitive industry in long-run equilibrium. Now suppose something comes along that sort of tweaks this industry out. Something happens and we move out of this equilibrium. So what might that be? Well, suppose that the government announces a new study that says that if you consume 10% more of this product on a daily basis, you'll reduce your chance of getting cancer. Well, it means the product is suddenly more valuable to everybody. How would you model this? Well, the way you'd model it is you'd say, in this new world, the demand curve has shifted out because now at any given price, people want more of this product. At that higher demand curve, we know market price goes up to P1. Demand is equal to supply, and this will send a signal out with a new marginal revenue curve, MR1. And the players in this industry will respond to the higher prices by doing what? Well, they set marginal revenue equals marginal cost. In this case, that's now up here. It used to be down here, but the higher price up here. And so the new equilibrium will be where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, and this will be at output lowercase q sub 1. Over here, market output has grown to cap q sub 1. So let's take a look at this picture. Is this a short-run equilibrium? Well, I know you've heard it, but we're going to just keep doing it because it's important to get this sort of muscle built in your head to think this through. Short-run equilibrium requires demand to be equal to supply. Is it? The answer is yep. So the market's in equilibrium. No tendency to change on the market at this left-hand panel. On the right-hand panel, marginal revenue equals marginal cost. It's in excess of average cost, so it's a great world. So in the short run, this is definitely a short-run equilibrium. Now, to test for long run, we have to have the panel for the market to be in equilibrium, the panel for the firm to be in equilibrium, and we also need that third condition, profits are equal to zero. Economic profits are equal to zero. Accounting profits could be reported quite large, but economic profits equal to zero. In this case, you can see that since we know the formula for profits is just quantity times the per unit markup, in this case the per unit markup is here, price minus average total cost. This is the number of units produced by the firm, and so in the short run, this firm has got positive profits. Great world, short-run equilibrium. Things are nice, but unfortunately, what do we know about positive profits? Well, they attract things. Positive profits cause people from the outside to say, let me get a piece of that action. Now, remember, we set up all these conditions for a competitive industry that were quite restrictive, and one of them was that it's free entry. Not costless, it's just that anybody can make this product as long as you want to build a factory and get in the action. In this particular case, what's going to happen in the long run? Well, you can see that the positive profits will attract entry. And what happens with that entry? Well, we know that entry is going to shift this supply curve out And that's going to do what? That's going to depress price. More people are going to be in this industry. It's going to depress price, but it's going to put more product in the market. In fact, price is going to have to go how far down? Well, price has to go back to get zero profit. That is, price has to get back down to this level. That means that in the long run, the supply curve is going to go all the way out to here. We'll call this S sub 2. That's going to drive price down to this level, right? Coincident with this. And the individual firm's production will go right back to Q sub 0. The depressing price causes each firm to move back along its marginal cost curve. This is the marginal cost curve, which is the locus of points of maximizing profits. As price goes down, individual firms are cutting back. Why are price going down? Because more people are coming in this industry. Entry is pushing the supply curve out. In the final analysis, there was a short-term price boost, and then people jumped in the industry, and look what happened in the long run. Price has settled back down to its original price, P sub 0. There's a lot more output in this industry. Market output's gone up from Q0 all the way out to Q2, which is good. People like this product because it now provides a healthier lifestyle. The higher price attracted more people into this product. Consumers wanted that. They're buying more of the product. The individual firms end up back in long-run equilibrium. That is, they're making zero economic profits. They could be making substantial accounting profit, but their economic profit is zero, which means they're making just about as much as they could make if they went to some other thing. From the very beginning, we talked about how some products, when I showed you the example of computer chips costing thousands of dollars that they now give away in boxes of Cracker Jacks, this is the type of thing that happened here. This product suddenly became much more attractive, and it brought in lots of people to say, I can make that product too. And as they did that, they pushed the price down and down and down. In fact, in that example at the beginning of the class, where we just sort of looked at the story from a 1990 info world, costs were going down on an almost daily basis in this industry too, as people were figuring out new and better ways to make chips, which, as the cost was falling, very high profits were attracting even more poor people into this industry.